As a mom of two boys, parenting is not easy. But if you're a parent and you keep finding yourself running from one appointment to the next, PT on Mondays and Wednesdays, or OT on Thursdays, and squeezing in speech on Fridays, but then having to add in other weekly sensory integration sessions like maybe ABA or behavioral therapies, but also adding in and managing a strict diet, administering what feels like 50 to 100 different supplements or vitamins and detox agents, I want you to know that you're not alone. More importantly, though, I want you to know that you're not missing anything and you're not failing your child. The truth is, you actually may be doing too much. So, in the quest to help your child heal, develop, and regulate, it's so easy to fall into the trap of constantly wanting to add more therapies, more protocols, more supplements, without realizing that their nervous system may already be at or beyond capacity. When the brain and body are stuck in a constant state of stress, sympathetic overload, vagus nerve dysfunction, subluxation, and dysautonomia, even well intentioned interventions can become overstimulating and, in some cases, even counterproductive. That's why so many families we work with report despite doing everything right, their child is still struggling or they're stuck, plateaued, even regressing. It's not because you haven't found the perfect protocol or the right combination of therapies. It's because healing doesn't come from piling on more and more. It comes from starting from the foundation. And oftentimes, the most powerful next step you can take, besides another supplement or another session, is to take a step back, calm the chaos, and work to first regulate and restore the nervous system. I'm a mom of two boys, and so I know firsthand that parenting is not easy. But if you have a child that's struggling with health challenges and you're finding yourself running from one appointment to the next, you've got PT several days a week, OT other days, and you're having to squeeze in speech therapy here and there, all while trying to also add in sensory integration sessions, and then you're adding in the restricted diet, managing that, administering 50 to 100 different supplements, it feels like sometimes, but then also the vitamins and the detox. I want you to know that you're not alone. And more importantly, I want you to know that you're not missing anything and you're not failing your child. The truth is, you actually may be doing too much. In the quest to help your child heal, develop, and regulate, it's so easy to fall into this constant trap of wanting to add more therapies, more protocols, and more supplements. But without realizing that if their nervous system is already stuck in stress, it may be at or beyond capacity. So when you have sympathetic overload, vagus nerve dysfunction, subluxation, and dysautonomia, even well-intentioned interventions can become overstimulating and in some cases, even counterproductive. That's why so many families we work with report despite doing everything right, their child is still stuck, plateaued, or even regressing. It's not because you haven't found the perfect protocol or the right combination of therapies. It's because healing doesn't come from piling on more and more. It comes from starting at the foundation. And sometimes the most powerful next step isn't another supplement or session, but rather taking a step back, calming the chaos, and working to regulate and restore the nervous system. We have found that on average, a child with autism spectrum disorder is enrolled in 3 to 5 different therapies every week. They're taking between 5 and 20 various supplements, and their parents report having tried on average 3 to 5 different restrictive diet changes to help them heal. We talk about total load a lot, and that's when you combine therapies such as ABA, speech, OT, PT, and then you add in supplements and detoxes, strict diets, and many level 3 autism families are managing 15 to 30 separate daily to-dos, which can easily become overwhelming and sometimes counterproductive, especially if the underlying nervous system dysregulation isn't addressed first. Healing intervention overload occurs when there's multiple beneficial therapies overwhelming a child's dysregulated nervous system, causing the individual interventions to work against each other rather than building synergistically toward improvement. So think of your child's nervous system like a computer with a limited processing power. The more tabs you have open, the more programs that you have running, it's going to cause the whole system to slow down, and sometimes it even crashes. But you can also think of your child's nervous system like a circuit board. If it's miswired or overloaded, plugging in too many things at once, even good therapies, can trip the system and blow a fuse. This explains why kids with subluxation and nervous system dysregulation often struggle with sleep, meltdowns, sensory overload, and even seizures or motor tics, when their system gets overwhelmed from too many therapies happening all at once. When your child's nervous system stuck in sympathetic dominance, essentially living in a fight or flight, it operates like a smartphone with a dying battery, and we've all been there. Every function becomes about survival and energy conservation, not growth and learning. Stressed nervous systems drain energy in a hierarchy, starting with the gut and GI system, which often struggles with motility, absorption, assimilation, and elimination as a result, causing a child to chronically not feel good, therefore struggle in therapies. Second, the motor system suffers through delayed milestones, poor coordination, hypertonicity and spasms, weak core strength, resulting in crawling delays, W sitting, toe walking, incoordination, and gait issues that stall out and are hard to address with PT or OT alone. Speech issues, also at their root, are a neuromotor dysfunction. Third, the immune function deteriorates, leading to chronic inflammation, frequent ear infections, antibiotics, more infections, asthma, and autoimmune conditions. If your child is sick all the time, they either can't make it to therapies or can't get much out of them. This is why millions of kids today still struggle with chronic gut issues despite having pristine diets and thousands of dollars worth of supplements. The problem is not with their nutrition, it's with their neurology. The answer isn't to abandon beneficial therapies, it's to understand the proper sequence for introducing them, creating what we call the multiplier effect, where each intervention becomes exponentially more effective. Phase 1 focuses exclusively on high-frequency, neurologically focused chiropractic care to address subluxation patterns and restore proper nervous system function, implementing a less is more approach by pausing other major interventions. Consider building the foundation. Phase 2 strategically reintroduces support for the core 4 functions: sleep, gut and GI function, immune balance, and motor development. These foundational systems must be online before higher functions like speech or academic learning can develop properly. And the best place to start within phase 2 is the motor system. And you'll now see your child be able to benefit so much more from PT, OT, speech once our nervous system is better regulated, connected, and coordinated. In most cases, when a full care plan of neurologically focused chiropractic is done right and done fully, primitive reflexes will fade and integrate on their own. And finally, after the neuromotor system is working better, you can begin to better support the gut immune system and work on the detoxification, elimination, and make it more smooth, safe, and effective. And phase 3 is when the magic happens. With a regulated nervous system and stable foundation function, previous ineffective therapies can produce dramatic results, and children with regulated autonomic function experience exponentially better therapy gains and start to really catch up and get back on track developmentally. Start first by just doing an honest gut check on their progress and what your parent gut is telling you may be going on. Are things moving forward, leaving your child stuck, or are they making things worse? Second, we use advanced insight scan technology to precisely measure nervous system dysregulation, subluxation, and vagus nerve function to see if your child's nervous system is completely overloaded, overwhelmed, or exhausted, meaning they would struggle to gain benefit from other integrated therapies. This gives parents confidence to trust the process and resist the urge to add more interventions prematurely. Because clinically, we know that scans will often improve before signs, which means true foundational neurological healing happens first. If everything we talked about in this video sounds all too familiar, and you'd like to learn more about healing intervention overload, the insight scans, and how to learn more about the sequencing of optimal healing, click the link in our bio, comment below, or you can even send us a DM.